Hello, I'm Emily. Today I'm going to share a few things from our week. We've had a week of lockdown and doing schoolwork at home with the kids. So I'm going to show you a few crafts and things that we did. Also a way I used up leftovers and made it into something nice, whereas I wanted to just throw it out. And also a few lessons that I've been learning too from things that have been happening in our home this last week. Oh, and also a Christian movie that me and Johan watched, which I really enjoyed, and I'd like to share it. So these are some of the pictures we made with homemade paint. It's Joseph's and Lydia's. She did some handprints here. Handprints. So we're going to use this paper and cut out shapes to make nice pictures. Lydia's making these boots today. You have a little square of paper, you draw a line down the side. Draw some wings, hang on, and then you fold this down and it makes the head. This is your picture. Wow, that's pretty, lad. This is a fun way to do counting with kids. Gotta get one, Lydia. One, good girl. Okay, Joseph's turn.
Two. Lydia,
okay, get two.
I'm going to get two.
What did Esther get? Esther got three. Okay, Lydia's turn. Three.
Three.
You get three. One, two,
One more.
three. Good job. See, yummy?
Yeah.
So I had some leftover lasagna which had been cooked and it was left over and it got frozen, and then we got it out of the freezer. We had eaten it for dinner one night and then there was still a lot left over, and so on this other evening I needed to use it up, but I didn't feel like eating it and the kids hadn't really liked it, so I didn't really know what to do with it, but I tried putting it in the food processor and processing it all because it was very soft, like the lasagna had kind of lost its texture. So I put it in the food processor, added a whole lot of breadcrumbs and egg, and I rolled them into balls, rolled them in breadcrumbs, and then I put them in the grill, in the oven, under the grill in the oven, and they were kind of like meat patties, and they were actually really nice. The children all ate them without complaining. So it's just an idea on how to use up leftovers. So the Christian movie is called Extraordinary, and it's probably more for couples or wives or husbands, but probably anybody could learn something from it. But it's about a couple, and the husband is a professional runner and he's very good at running, and so he would go on trips or long running trips, and then the wife would be left alone at home. And so on this video he's getting older, but he wants to go on this one last trip, which is running across the United States, which takes about 60 days, and she was very upset because it means he's away for so long over the summer. And so it's kind of about her learning to accept that he's gone so much, and but he's also learning to be more mindful of her and of his children. So they're kind of both learning things in the movie. But I could relate to it as in Johan's kind of a visionary person who's always doing new things, and if you have a very busy husband who works a lot, then you might be able to relate to it too. So this week we've had mice in our kitchen, which is really disgusting. We've seen them running around a few times, and I'm not sure if it's because our house is our kitchen is a construction site at the moment, but yeah, there's been a little hole where this mouse has been able to get in, so Johan went and got poison for it. But the other day I was baking some new muesli bars, which I will link the recipe because they actually turned out quite nice. They're ones that have a base of flour, rolled oats, and wholemeal flour and butter, and then it has things like almonds, dates, chocolate chips, apricots, coconut as a topping. And I happen to have all the ingredients, so I tried to make it over lockdown, and they were really nice. They're quite filling and healthy as well. So I'll link that below. But anyway, while I was making it, I went to go get out some flour, and our flour is in our bottom cupboard of our pantry. And right in the back of the cupboard, I was disgusted to see a whole pile of mouse droppings. So somehow the mouse had gotten into the pantry and it left a whole lot of droppings there. So that was really yuck, but I cleaned that all out in the middle of making snack bars. And then I went to go get something out of my other cupboard, and there were a whole lot of ants in there. So it was kind of moving with ants, and that was really yuck too. So I had to clean all that up in the middle of making my bars as well. But I was thinking with the mice, as I was doing it, I was thinking, oh well, at least I'm cleaning out the cupboards at the same time. And a while ago on my mum's blog, I wrote a post about a hard morning I had it with Lydia, and she'd flooded the whole bathroom. And she was in her bath, she was tipping water everywhere, and I didn't realise until I came in and saw that the floor was all flooded. But I'd said at least it was clean water and the floor was getting cleaned at the same time. And somebody commented on that post saying, yeah, whenever there's a mess like that or a spill, at least the floor's getting cleaned up. So I was thinking about that, how there is always something to be thankful for. And if we think of those things rather than the negative things like the mouse droppings and the ants, then we can still be happy, or it goes a lot better when we think of the positive things. And it also reminded me of the Pollyanna story. I found the Pollyanna DVD in the op shop the other day, which I'll just grab. So I really like this version of the Pollyanna story. So if you don't know the story, Pollyanna's a little girl who goes to live with her aunt, and she always finds something to be glad about. Whatever happens, she's always thinking of what she can be thankful for or glad about. And I've heard people say that it's not realistic, like the Pollyanna story is not realistic, but I think it's biblical too. Because there's a verse that says, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. And it also often talks about rejoicing in everything. So I think that story is just putting those verses into practice. There is always something to be thankful for. So anyway, it is a YouTube video, and it's a really nice video for children. I like it as well. So I'll link that. And I saw on the channel there's also another children's video, which is a Christian one, called Treasures of the Snow. So that's another nice story in Switzerland, if you've never heard of that one or seen that one before. Okay, some other lessons from ants. There are a lot of different lessons you can learn for ants, but I've just picked out a few different ones that I've been thinking of. And one of them is that they share food. If you see one ant in your cupboard, I know that if I don't squash it, tomorrow there'll be 100 or more ants. They never just find food and keep it for themselves. They always, I don't know how they do it, but they somehow tell everybody else, and everybody else comes to get the food too. And I think that's a good example of what we should be like. We should share what we find or what we have or what we learn. And of course there's 100 different ways of doing that, but for me that is the goal in my YouTube channel and my blogs, is to share what I've found, the good things that I've found, whether it's something I've learned in the Bible or whether it's just something practical that is helpful, that has helped me. I know it could help somebody else, and that is why I share those things. But there are all different ways that we can share things with others, and not just keeping things for ourselves, being others focused as well. And also little things can make a big difference. Ants are so tiny, if you didn't have glasses on, maybe some people wouldn't even see them. But little things can make a big difference. They caused me a lot of frustration this week. I'd clean out the cupboard, and then the next day they'd start coming back again. I'd clean it out, and then sometimes a few hours later there'll be more coming back again. They are so little, but they can cause a lot of frustration, or they can do a lot of damage. If you make a cake and they get into it, the whole cake's ruined, and yet they're so tiny. And I think we easily underestimate the importance of little things. Even just a message you send to somebody, or a letter, or just things that don't seem very important. If it's done for God, it can make a big difference. So we shouldn't despise the little things. Another thing is ants are very focused on what their goal is or what they're doing. They're going to find food and that's what they do. You can't distract them. They don't stop and look at other things along the way. They go straight to where they're going. And for me that's a good lesson because I get distracted easily. So yeah, I think it's a good lesson for me just to stay focused on what God has given me to do and not to get sidetracked with everything else along the way.